All right, Devan Murugan now with eNCA Money Desk. And I think, as I was saying before the break, so many matriculants who aren't going to study are going to want to get working. But does South Africa have the environment for them to get those jobs?
Yeah, you know, one word to answer that, the economy, and it's not growing the way we'd like it to grow. In fact, the unemployment rate hovering around 30%. We're certainly not in a labour-absorbing economy at all, Gareth. Recruitment group Manpower publishing a report which looks at, among other things, South Africa's hiring outlook for the first 3 months of 2020. Now, they've surveyed more than 750 companies. You see that big number on your screen, across various sectors and provinces, to assess what their hiring potential is. Here are the results. 10% of those employees surveyed say they forecast an increase in payrolls, which basically means they will hire more people. 8% actually will be reducing the number of people they employ. 1% are unsure, but 81% of those companies surveyed say they expect to make no changes. So in other words, not letting people go or hiring. We would want a different picture. We would want a lot of those matriculants coming out to actually find jobs quickly.
And we're going to talk about the sectors that could be hiring for the moment, but geography plays a big part when it comes to employment. We know that people move out of more rural areas to built-up areas like Johannesburg, like Cape Town. Does the survey show us where in the country these jobs might be coming from?
Partly so, Gareth. What it does is it shows the differential, the growth in the opportunities of companies hiring from the last survey to now. So we have a 2% growth potential in the employer outlook for the first 3 months of the year. And here we go. Manpower saying that the Western Cape having the best potential for creating jobs, 4% up, focusing on diversifying the province's energy mix through an uptake in sustainable energy resources. It's happening there, possibly one of the reasons that we would have jobs being made available. The outlook's weakened by 5 to 3 percentage points in the Free State and KwaZulu-Natal with the last quarter when you compare those differences. And then Gauteng fairly stable with the hiring outlook of 3%. You're quite right, that's where most of the workforce would run to get the jobs, but the growth rate there just 3%, which means compared to last year we haven't grown too much with job opportunities.
No, it hasn't. I think this is why it's so important as matriculants, I'm sure, are starting to look not only where to find a job, but what kind of sector to go in. And I think that's almost invaluable information for the matriculants, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. So where do you go to? Which sectors would offer you the best opportunities? Well, opportunities for job seekers are expected to be the strongest in finance, insurance, real estate and business services sectors. I mean, that's where the net employment outlook is 9%, as you can see on your screen, in that financial area. There are also some hiring opportunities in agriculture, hunting, forestry and fishing, as well as restaurants and hotels. Not really highlighted on your screen, but that's somewhat disappointing when you see that we could grow that hospitality sector much more, but it's seen a decline. And Gareth, you see that minus 9% in construction. Again, that directly speaks to what the economy is doing at the moment. We're not building bridges. There are no massive infrastructure projects coming up with the government. Factories are not coming up because of a lack of investment, and therefore that tells you that if you want to look for a job, that's probably the last section you need to run over to.
Which is odd, because a few years ago, before you look at the markets, Devan, that is probably one of the sectors most people would have wanted to go into because there would have been so much work available. Now, if we look at something like 9% to the negative in construction, as we look at the markets, can we tie these in at all, or is that a bit of a push even for Gareth?
Well, on the day, perhaps not. But when you look at these construction firms and their share portfolios, for example, the share price is nothing close to what they were a couple of years ago. Let's go straight into those markets. It is a better day on the JSE.